Part 2 of Clubhouse Chatter. Here's Norm.
All right, hey, we're back, and I'm really excited about this. And so, last show of the year, we're going to go big, and we're going with Eric Byrnes. Eric is the author of the F-It list. Once again, you young lady don't need to know what F-It stands for. And it is Life Lessons from a Human Crash Test Dummy. And Eric Byrnes, best way to describe him is he's a ball of fire. And so he is all over the place. And if you've watched the MLB Network, you've probably seen him. I think you do also do Pac-12 Network, don't you?
Yeah, the Pac-12 action to keep the college roots there. It's actually been some of the most rewarding stuff that I've actually done in the broadcasting world.
So UCLA great, Mr. Eric Byrnes. Byrnesy, how's it going?
Oh, good. I mean, the UCLA great. Just you guys, that's kind of a loose term, but I appreciate the love. Yeah, it's up here in Tahoe and chasing 3 kids around the mountain every single day, but it's been a good off season. How
much snow do you guys got up there?
We had a nice pace early on, which was good. I think about a couple weeks ago we were like 150% of normal.
Holy crap!
And then we got a storm that was sort of a disappointment. Brought a lot of rain. Anything below 7,000 feet just a few days ago. So wiped out kind of the bottom of the mountain. The top of the mountain's fantastic, though.
You're a skier, aren't you?
I board more these days. I haven't. I skied when I was a kid, and then when I got done playing baseball, I went full snowboard action, and then I kind of switched off between the two. But the game's changed. I mean, it's probably a good thing that we didn't have the parks that we have now.
Right.
When I was a kid, figuring I'm not sure if I would have ever played baseball because those parks are just freaking ridiculous. Like, I mean, I'm a 42-year-old grown-ass man, and I'll go spend half my day in the park messing around. And, just to think what I would have done 20 years ago with the jumps and everything. And it's good, though, because it's actually made it a lot safer. I used to just go huck myself off cliffs.
Oh, geez.
And, I had no idea what was on the other end. But, at least now you have these 100-foot jumps, but you're going to be landing on a surface that's, all groomed out for you, and it's a perfect angle, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and the kids love it.
So we've had Lenny Randall on the show a handful of times, and of course, the MLB Network said that he is the most interesting man in baseball, which at this time I think that you're probably the most interesting man in baseball. We need to get you guys together and do a live show.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, what's he like?
Oh man. Oh, Lenny is like he's a ball of fire like you.
Interesting. Yeah, that's I'd love to get together with him. That'd be fantastic. And you guys aren't too far from what'd you say, Harold Reynolds' hometown?
Yeah. We're only about 40 miles from Corvallis, and so in fact, one of our guys who
I was going to say, that's your next guest, right?
We'd love to get Harold on, absolutely. We've talked to his brother Donnie a couple of times, but yeah, we'd love to get Harold on. So we're holding out for Harold one of these days. So,
right.
So you did. Let's talk about. So Tori Humphrey, her question would be, let's talk about the triathlon across America. And so my first question is, okay, I know why, because, the Let Them Play Foundation, but why? I mean, you swam, what, 6-7 miles, was it?
7 miles across the San Francisco Bay, and then rode my bike, so that was from AT&T Park to Alameda, and then I rode my bike from Alameda to Chicago, which was, I forget the total mileage. It was somewhere, I think we mapped it out. We were supposed to be like 2,350. Ended up being closer to 2,500 miles. We hit some detours along the way, plenty of detours. And then ran from Chicago to New York City, and the total distance on that ended up being 905 miles. Wow. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of questions why. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I think it was, for me, it was just that after I got done playing baseball, I got in the endurance sports world, and the transition could not have been more unnatural. Outside of, I think, the psyche that you develop as a baseball player, to endure a failure and to endure just about anything thrown in front of you, I would say that there's nothing that prepared me to get into running the distances or cycling the distances or swimming the distances that I've now gotten into. So it's just I think it's been a really nice outlet where I've been able to redirect my energy after baseball. And so the whole concept of really the triathlon across America came when my wife and I have been discussing for a number of years. Basically, like how disappointed we are with the physical education programs across the country. 97% of PE has been cut out, of everyday PE has been cut out of public education. There's like 70% of kids do zero after-school youth activity. The kids are spending an average of 7+ hours a day on screens, and it's correlated with rising levels of mental illness. Obviously, with our children, the suicide rates, it's bad. And so we decided, instead of just sitting here and talking about it, let's do something about it. And it kind of correlated with the same time of the release of the Effort List, which I think I'm very grateful for. And I just say this because the Effort List was something that basically over the last 7 years I was writing and had like this collection of stories and a lot of free thoughts and a lot of experiences, and I was able to go back and draw these lessons from the experiences, and then obviously that's a part with the life lessons from the Human Crash Test Dummy. But and I started thinking about doing a book tour, and that's what got us going on this. Is like, what? Maybe if I go do a book tour, then instead of just doing this standardized book tour, why don't I run or cycle or? And we didn't really know what it was, and we were talking about it because my wife, for a number of years, also wanted to go across the country and do some kind of RV trip. And it just morphed into this this thing where we became super passionate about creating this foundation and delivering checks at the root. And, for me, for a long time, I've given money to different organizations, yet I never felt like I see my money at work. I never felt like it's like one specific thing that goes to it. It just kind of goes to this big pool, and you have no idea where it goes. So the first few checks we handed off, like it just slapped me in the face. I'm like, yes, this is exactly why we're doing what we're doing. And one was to a youth Latino soccer team that needed money for uniforms and balls. And if you think about it, it's like these travel sports are typically reserved for rich kids. And so when you take an underprivileged community and you say, okay, now we have to keep up with the travel sports world, like, it's not fair. Like, it's not like you get like, these kids and these kids' parents don't have the money to pay for this stuff. And so we handed them a $1,000 check in cash. And the look on their faces, and we experienced that everywhere we went. In total, I think we had handed out like over 30 different grants along the way. Someone made the analogy today. It was almost like I got to play Santa Claus.
Right.
And it was just super cool. And handed out over $60,000.
Wow.
And every single dollar that was raised through individual donations, every single dollar we handed out, to the point where we had some money left over at the end, and we're like, guys, who do we want to give it to? We're like it wasn't like this big sort of thing, right? The only operating cost was going across the country, and we were able to get a sponsor to help with that. But other than that, it was just, hey, every single individual donation we were able to get, we were able to give right back out. It's super cool.
Nice. So coming into New York City, you got kind of a hero's welcome.
Yeah, well, the New York City police department, NYPD, has a triathlon team. And along the way, like, you guys gotta understand, I was out of it. Just out. Where each and every single day for me was its own adventure.
It was a struggle.
It was a big time struggle. And so I was relatively disengaged with everything going on around me, with the exception of the events that we had and dropping off the checks. And, you know, so I guess the NYPD had contacted Tara, my wife, and said, hey, look, we want to be there to support them at the end, and we want to give them an escort into New York City. And, I mean, she mentioned this. I don't even know. We might have been in Cleveland or something. And she mentioned that the NYPD had reached out. But, I mean, at that point, you don't understand. Like, they're in Cleveland. Like, I can't even think about the finish line. And if there's one thing I learned through all this, it's just that, you know, I think we all go through life and we sit there and we have these big end goals, right? And they're there. But the only way we'll ever get there, the only way we'll ever even come close to getting there, is by completely immersing ourselves within the process of the day. And I kind of had a feeling, I had this mindset, and that's a lot of what the Effort List was. And it's a lot about my career and my childhood and growing up and, you know, facing adversity, wild adversity. You know, my best friend was killed when I was 11, my first love, died in a horrific sort of like thing out at the University of Colorado when she was 18. It's just, I went through some crap when I was a kid. And, you know, I was a better athlete, and I was always playing up, and I had to fight my way through school, like literally fight my way. You know, look, in full-blown ADHD, so obviously I had a lot of trouble in the classroom, and, you know, overcoming, I think, all this stuff along the way prepared me for something like this. It prepared me to understand that each and every single day is going to be its own challenge. I think it was a little bit more of an extreme, obviously this summer, but you know, I think if there's one thing again that I was able to pull from it is that so long as we are able to put one foot in front of the other, and that's it. Like, I'm not kidding you. And I had like a couple days where it was just like, I don't know how I'm gonna run today. I really have no idea how this is possible. And I would just start. And sometimes you just got to start because we don't want to do it. We don't. There's so much shit in life that we don't want to do. But I don't want to say you have to, but just once we start, it becomes so much easier. The problem is nobody starts.
Right.
Everyone has these reservations for whatever reason, and they just won't get going. And, you know, we all have these concepts and things that we want to do, but no one actually, I'll say no one, but a lot of people are scared to take that first step, including myself. And I'm just saying this through experience. And, you know, in whatever it is, and even now, especially, you know, as I've gotten into my 40s, like, you know, we all don't like being uncomfortable. And I think the concept of life is learning how to become comfortable with the uncomfortable, because it's the uncomfortable times that we actually live. Those are the times that it's like, whoa. And we were talking about the skiing and boarding thing earlier, for example. Like, it would have been so easy for me to get, you know, when I got done playing baseball, to go back to skiing and just ripping the mountain up, which was as natural as could be for me. And I put myself in the most vulnerable position I could. And that was by trying to learn how to snowboard. And I got my ass kicked for, I don't know, a couple weeks. And then I just got it. And it's fun to go through that process. And it's the same thing with triathlon. I never swam more than 25 yards of my life without stopping. I'd never ridden a bike outside of like a mountain bike or a BMX. Definitely hadn't ridden more than 10 miles. I had never run more than 4 miles in my life. And that led to doing these, Ironman triathlons, which led to ultra marathons and doing the Western States 100. And then obviously, led into doing this triathlon across the United States where I was biking, 100 to 150 miles a day and running 30 to 40 miles a day. And none of it happens unless I was willing to put myself in this incredibly vulnerable position to be uncomfortable.
Now, I saw some of those videos that you were posting as you were running and biking across America, and he's right. I mean, there were days to where he'd be questioning it. I mean, he's out running storms, tornadoes, whatever. GPS takes him down dead-end dirt roads. They have to turn around and go back 25 miles. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy in what you put yourself through. And so I'm looking at a picture here of you going into, I'm assuming, New York, and you're carrying a Pat Tillman jersey. And I want to talk a little bit about your relationship with Pat Tillman. Did you know him?
Not really, not well. I had an opportunity to meet Pat, had an opportunity to hang out with Pat a few times, but Pat was. So we were at the high school the same year, we graduated in '94, and Pat was like one of those guys that we went to the football high school in the area we typically had the best football team and won 8 CCS championships in a row, and it was funny that he played for Leland High School, which their pedigree wasn't great when it came to football, right? It was like they were okay, but every now and again, it's a big public high school in San Jose, they would have a really good team. And we had this show called High School Football Sports Focus, or High School Sports Focus. And Pat, every single week, would end up on the show and just dominate. And we're watching this guy on TV, and we're like, who is this guy? And he was undersized. He had these long blonde locks flowing out of his hair. This guy looked like Barry Sanders on offense. He looked like Ronnie Lott on defense. He was single-handedly winning football games. And our entire team, who, again, I'll say it, and this is something we used to argue about, and still to this day I'll argue about with Mr. Tillman, Pat's father, is that we had the best team, but Pat was the best player.
Right.
And, it was just, it was mesmerizing to see what this dude was doing on a football field. It was the most dominant performance in high school athletics. Not high school just football. High school athletics I'd ever seen. Now, mind you, right, I played against Tom Brady. I played against Pat Burrell. I played against so many other dudes that were really, really good. Pat was a man amongst boys.
Pat was the stud of all studs.
So anyhow, Pat ended up going to Arizona State.
Devils.
My best friends in high school went to Dartmouth. Mm-hmm. The two of them were the, I believe, 6th and 7th round picks of the Arizona Cardinals in 1988. Zach Walls, and then Zach was actually picked before Pat, and then Pat. And the two of them instantly became best friends. And that was the same year I got drafted by the A's and went to instructional league and would shack up on Zach's couch. And that's when I got to spend some time with Pat. And it was weird, though. Again, these guys were the big leagues, right? So they were playing an NFL season, and we're in the fall of '98. That's right. We're in the fall of '98. And I'm looking up to these guys like, whoa, right? And I just feel like I'm not even near the big leagues. In baseball, it's such a humbling sport. Mm-hmm. But these guys were it. These guys were at the pinnacle. And my experiences with Pat were very just. He was a hero for me. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because he became immortalized, when he passed away. And I just think that he's one of the few guys that he didn't have to die.
Right.
He did not have to die. And I say that in the sense that he was a fucking legend when he was alive. So I think that's what hurt all of us that were close to him. And again, like, I wasn't super close to him, but to really get involved with his family and the foundation and his best friends and Ben Hill and getting to know Marie and it was Pat's widow and getting to know obviously Kevin and Richard and his brothers, and his father and spending time around him, and that's I think that's what hurt most. And
put things in perspective, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
So a couple more minutes. Couple more minutes here, and we'll let you go. Let's talk a little bit of baseball here. Of course, baseball show, and so I would like to know. So Harper and Machado most likely are both going to the Yankees. At least that is what we're hearing now. And I always thought of you. So you and I, we met back in 2006 when you were with the Diamondbacks, and I was clubhouse manager in Lancaster, California, Brian Drink Up, which of course was managed by Brett Butler, and we were the high A team of the Diamondbacks. And so I met you in spring training that season. So I've watched you for quite a while now, and I want to know, and I've seen you play, and you're a balls out guy. You play the game the right way. Manny Machado, when he comes out with his remark about hustle, did that kind of like grind at you wrong a little bit?
Yeah, I don't really care what he's gonna say. That's never been a big thing for me. You're right. I could sit here and talk to you guys like I'm the biggest hard ass there is, but that doesn't show you who I am.
Right.
I'm going to show you who I am through my actions, not my words. I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to try to say the right things and whatnot. But I think ultimately, it's your actions that tell me who you are. And if I'm going to, say, make a judgment on a guy like Manny Machado, if I'm another team in this free agent process, and I'm thinking that I'm going to back up the Brinks truck and give this guy $250+ million. Well, wait, hold on a second. I'm going to go to his actions. I really don't give a shit what he's going to tell me face to face. Like that doesn't. I want to see who you are, and I think quite frankly, Manny's showing who he is. And he's an incredibly talented baseball player.
Absolutely.
That has skills that are unique to him that nobody else in the game has. There's not another guy in baseball that can make throws from shortstop like Manny Machado.
Right.
There's very few that are able to post up and go out there and put up the numbers that he puts up each and every single season. He is talented. Yet, we've also seen him lose it. And I would say, lose it mentally at times, which causes him to just do ridiculously crazy stuff, like stepping on Jesus Aguilar's Achilles, doing it again to, I believe it was Steve Pierce over there at first base. It doesn't make any sense. The whole Donaldson issue from years back, and that I actually was his harshest critic when that happened, and he ended up chucking his bat. The thing that really got me more than anything was when he whacked Derek Norris in the head, and he didn't apologize. And then it's like he did it again. He didn't apologize again, and that caused. I think they threw at him, and then he had the run in with Donaldson. Then he ends up throwing his bat at the third base. I don't think Donaldson was in the game at that point, but he chucks his bat. Obviously intentionally. And I think he's trying to throw it back at the pitch. He just held on too long. Look, I have no basis for saying that, and it's just you asked me what I think. That's what I think happened. So he's had these blow up moments that would make me question, do I want to give this guy enough money, so much money that he instantly becomes the face of the franchise. He instantly becomes the guy that when people think about my organization, they're going to think about him. And, I just think there should be a lot of owners out there scratching their head in asking themselves that question. Now, is he worth taking a risk on? Yeah. If you're a team like the White Sox, I don't know. I think I'd do it.
Right.
If I'm a team like the Yankees, we're going to win with or without Manny Machado.
Absolutely.
That's who we are. We're the New York freaking Yankees, right? I'd probably steer clear. Now, the one good thing is that I think there'd be other people and fans within the organization that would hold him accountable.
Right.
And he does play hard at times. He really does. And I think we saw that at the World Series when he made that dash for home. And but he does some head scratching stuff that would make me very hesitant to go ahead and rely on him to be the future.
2018 was a great year for baseball. And so we flipped the calendar to 2019 with the new season coming on. Give me two things to watch for the 2019 baseball season, whether it's a team that's kind of under the radar or a player.
I'm interested to see how the A's respond after last season. I'm interested to see where bullpenning is going.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know if it's sustainable. I think we're going to have to change the roles of pitchers, and pitchers need to become accustomed to the roles. But I think that is especially for teams like Tampa or Oakland that they don't have the horses to take the ball every fifth day and give you 6+ innings. I think it's a brilliant way to go. The game's constantly evolving. If you're not evolving with it, it's going to leave you in the dust. I really enjoy all the new numbers. As an analyst, it gives me more ways to break down the game. I think the strikeout trends, we'll see what happens because, bullpen is only going to up the strikeout trends. But at the same time, I think that there's going to be a happy medium between the launch angle and striking out because strikeouts they're not good. I'd obviously love to see the ball and play more. And the game's very athletic right now, and that's a good thing. And we need to put our athletes on display. The Red Sox are they that good? Are they going to be willing to come back or are they going to be able to come back and repeat? What happens with the Yankees? The whole Machado Bryce thing. I think it's going to be interesting. The Phillies, what's going to happen to them, and where are they going to go? Are they going to continue to progress? It's interesting. It's a really interesting time in baseball right now, and it's funny because I've been doing this for a while. 2010 was my last year playing, and so now we're going into 2019 season.
Yeah,
and I think the game's in a really, really good spot. I really do. Now, questions come up. How do you attract the younger audience? I don't know. Are there ways, whether it's the pitch clock or banning the shifts? Are there ways to make the game better? Yeah, there could be. We don't. At this point, we don't have time to get into it. But
absolutely.
The automated strike zone is something that needs to happen, and in a hurry. I think it would speed up the game. We still need umpires. They still would be there. It's just we need to give the umpires the same technology that we have. There's no reason why I should be sitting here 3,000 miles away and being able to watch a game in New York, and I have the information of whether or not it's a ball or strike, yet the umpire doesn't.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense to me. So that needs to be that needs to be cleaned up. But I think overall, in general, it's a good time. And the other thing to keep your eye out on in the next few years that I would love to see happen, and I think will happen, is expansion.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll see 2 new teams.
Portland, Oregon.
Portland, yeah.
Yep, they're talking.
I don't care where they are. I really don't. I think whatever cities you put them in, they will survive and they will flourish. So I'm just rooting for expansion. I think it would be great. You get it to 32 teams, 16 teams in each league.
Mm-hmm.
It would be awesome.
Mr. Eric Byrnes, author of The Effort List, and where can we find your book? Where can somebody buy the book?
I think all the major platforms. Yeah, Amazon, iTunes, the audiobooks there. It's just everywhere. You go to the website though, and ericbyrnes.com, and I have you can get the book there. We're always tossing out deals and stuff, but yeah, it's cool because the whole idea was when I wrote the book. It was funny because I was talking to my publisher, and I told him, I'm like, look, I said, I didn't write this to be any kind of autobiography. Like, this isn't hey, look at me and my story. I really did. It's the last thing I wanted. Like, what I wanted to do is I wanted to give the reader something. And I would have never published a book if I wasn't giving the reader something.
And I think you did.
After it was all said and done, I realized, I said, you know what? I said, there are valuable lessons in here that through my experiences, through experiences of others, that I want to share. And I think will help specifically young baseball players coming up, going through the grind. And, that's where the whole idea of the book came up, but that's also where the idea of the website came up, because I said it's a mentality, it's a lifestyle. It's not just a book. And in order to do that, you gotta show me, right? So I'm not going to just tell you it's a mentality, it's a lifestyle, and then go away. Well, guess what? You know what a mentality and a lifestyle is? It's everyday accountability. So what I did is I started writing these daily emails.
Mm-hmm.
Daily email, each and every single day.
4 o'clock in the morning.
4 o'clock in the morning, ching.
That's when I get them. Absolutely.
And 5 days a week. And I put a lot into those, and they're just life experiences with life lessons. They're an extension of the book, and they just don't stop. And I think that's been really motivating for me, because the reaction that I've been able to get. So if anyone's out there that listens to this and want to sign up, just go to the website. There's a spot there to sign up for the daily email, and it's just sitting there going, dude, why would I, that was the other thing with the effort list. It's like, why is anyone going to read my book? Why does anyone believe that this crazy-ass dude that, most people remember, he's flying around the outfield, running the walls, why do I think this dude can write? Well, go sign up for the email list, start reading the emails, and after you do that, you figure it out when you want to buy the book.
Absolutely.
And if you don't, I'm good with that. But so that's, and then from that, we've created this whole Team Go Hard thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, the idea of the Team Go Hard is just basically the everyday people that are willing to go out and push limits. The everyday people that are able to sit there and say, I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone. And I'm not talking about someone that's got to go run 100 miles or go do a triathlon across the country. I'm talking about the dude that's, overweight at home and hasn't run since high school. And it's like, you know what, today's the day. Today's the day I'm going to put one foot in front of the other. I'm going to go 1 mile. Today's the day I'm going to hop on my bike and I'm going to ride 10 miles. Today's the day that I'm going to hop into the pool. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's just the whole idea is do something. Do something to be active, because this goes back to the whole let them play foundation of the kids.
Right.
It stimulates the mind. Activity stimulates the mind. And then that allows us to function properly as human beings. It keeps anxiety away, keeps depression away, and it allows you to be a better, more productive member of society.
Eric, hey, let's do this again. There are so many things that I want to ask you. And so we would love to have you come back on as after the first of the year, we'll find some time when you're not so busy. I know your life is hectic, and but keep on doing what you're doing. I love what you're doing. You're one of my favorites in the game today, and I love watching you. And I do have one favor to ask of you. Tell Roflo hello for me.
Okay.
I love that guy. I love watching him, and I love, we sit here and we'll watch him play his video game, and we'll harass him every once in a while. But he's a good dude, and tell Roflo hello for us.
You guys watch him on Twitch?
We watch him on like Facebook Live.
Oh, it's funny.
It
That's
is
funny. Yeah, he's a cartoon character.
He really is. He's pretty funny. And so
there's certain people that you meet in life that are like literal cartoon characters. He's one of them.
He has the job I want. I mean, really.
That's true.
He gets to hang out with all these former Major League Baseball players and characters, and he's a character himself. And so, but keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job, and we love you up here in Oregon. And like I said, let's do this again soon.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate you guys having me on.
All right, man. Hey, can you give us a cacao before you go? Mr. Eric Byrnes. Eric, hey, thanks for coming on. Happy New Year, and we'll talk to you after the first of the year.
Happy New Year's.
Thank you.
New Year, Byrnes.
Bye. All right, Brian. Eric Byrnes. So I'm telling you, Eric Byrnes and Lenny in the same room.
Don't know if we can handle that. It'd be good stuff, though.
Torcado
in the same room. Watch out.
Oh, man.
No.
Put away the alcohol.
It would be interesting.
It would be.
It would be.
So
awesome.
I highly recommend The F-It List. Brian's telling me up and down.
There you go, right there.
It's a great book. It's this book it's more than just a book. It's an attitude, it's mentality, and a lifestyle, like you said. And so, one of the genuine good guys in the game today, Eric Byrnes, doing a lot of good things. Brian,
Hey, it was fun. Good job.
what do you what's your take on 2018, and where are we going in 2019?
Bring on 2019.
Where are we going with Clubhouse Chatter?
We'll see.
Talking about a Portland team?
Yes, we'll be talking a lot about Portland baseball, it looks like.
A lot of Portland baseball. We're going to be out and about a little bit more in 2019. I'm actually stepping down from coaching baseball this summer to devote a little more time to the show. And so don't worry, Parks and Rec people. I'm still working Parks and Rec, still prepping the fields. I just won't be coaching 2 baseball teams.
There you go.
And so
It'll be interesting.
Spending time more on Clubhouse Chatter, doing some live remotes from games and stuff.
Doing some local stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
So that'll be fun.
And so, Happy New Year to everybody. And Tony Torcado, wherever you are, we miss you. And we'll take a shot of Jose for you.
All right. Of course, I want to remind everyone that this fabulous show is brought to you by
Baseballism.com. If you like my shirt, like the hat, or like Brian's shirt and hat, Baseballisms.com. Also sponsored by Baseball Dudes.
Also NWIBL.
I can't see the screen. So
NWIBL.
Yep, Dwayne up there. He's looking for baseball players for this spring.
Yeah, starting here soon.
Yep, shoot him a message. Also,
BaseballDudes.com.
BaseballDudes.com. Chris Gazelle up there in Vancouver, Washington. To be the best, you must train like the best.
And Base by Pros.
Base by Pros. Mitch Canham up there in Washington as well. And his dad, Mark Canham, does our shirts for Clubhouse Chatter. And we always stream live on
YeahMailToday.com.
And we're also sponsored by The New Hobby in Salem for all your baseball card needs, your Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and whatever cards you want. He's got them.
Devin's the man as well.
He is the man. We will have Devin on after the first of the year, by the way, and we'll talk baseball cards. So
perfect.
We'll do a show from his shop.
There you go. We'll get Rick back on here.
Yeah.
He's a wealth of knowledge earlier, found out about baseball cards. So.
We do like our baseball cards. Hey, from our room here, we wish you a Happy New Year. Hey, be safe. If you're going to drink, don't drive. Find a designated driver. Just stay where you're at. Please don't drink and drive. All right. Happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2019.
Peace.
New Year.